I've got really good news for all of our American viewers. We were coming back. The British were returning, but now we're not. The British aren't coming to America anymore, and this is in reference to the Labour Party plot, where a load of Labour Party members were going to go over around 100.
It was just under 100,
Just under 100 to go and campaign on behalf of Democrats in swing states. I think it was North Carolina. That
they may not be wearing red coats, but they are wearing red rosettes.
Even worse.
Which would be confusing if you go to America, because America's the one country that the right are represented by the colour red, rather than the rest of the world.
It was weird that they went with the communist colour, but... Oh, well, they've kind of got... They have to be the opposite of England in every way, so of course they've got to switch the colours over. But also, we've got the website, merchandise available. You can get your Trump fight mug. You can get my mouse to work, thank you very much. You can get the Trump 24 t-shirt and a lot of other stuff. So please do that. Buy our merchandise to support the website. Keep us going. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So this is something I wanted to point out first, which is that anonymous accounts on Twitter have been getting a lot of attention recently. Some of them have, in fact, been driving discourse and conversation. So here's a reminder for you. The Springfield, Ohio story about the Haitians potentially eating dogs as
cats,
as Donald Trump memorably said in that...
But actually geese.
Who broke that story?
Was it an anonymous account on Twitter?
Yes, it was. It was someone I'm mutuals with who goes under the handle Captive Dreamer. He went onto the Ohio local government websites to see what was going on in this town that he'd seen where they dropped, I think it was like 50,000 Haitians over last year. And he went, what's going on? Watched one of the videos of their council meetings and found this woman saying that, they're in my front yard, they're destroying everything, it's really difficult to live here now, they're really aggressive and violent towards me. He posted it. Massive news story to the point where it reaches Donald Trump and he's shouting about it in a debate with Harris. So that's pretty impressive, which shows the power of anons on Twitter breaking news stories. And recently we've had Ellie Reeves complaining to the Conservative Party chair about the fact that another anon called Northern Variant...
Good fella, often shares my stuff. Good posts.
I'm a mutual with him. Complaining about the fact that he supports Robert Jenrick because he posted a picture of himself recently for the Conservative Party, putting his little X in Robert Jenrick's name.
I mean, the patrician's choice is obviously Kemi Badenoch, but...
Obviously. This podcast will always...
No. Kemi, we got you.
You're our gal. Oh, I can barely say it with a straight face, but let's carry on. They point out to that I can't believe you're being supported by this evil racist who, on 6th of October 2024, made slurs about how Indians took control of the Tory party. I mean, they were literally headed by Rishi Sunak for a little bit.
But there were also multiple people in Rishi Sunak's cabinet and senior members of the Conservative Party that were Indian. It's not necessarily a controversial thing.
Priti Patel was Home Secretary during the period where our borders were massively held open for floods of third world immigration and second world immigration.
Largest
lot of it
group being
from
Indian.
India.
Yeah.
Weird that. And on 6th of August 2024, commented on a post by Times Radio and referred to sexually incontinent low IQ Muslims, a statement that I, of course, will utterly disavow.
But also, what's the context? Just a post. What was the story?
Well, we'll find out, and they ask a few questions, because his real name is apparently Pete North, because that's what it's run on his Substack that he links to on his page. And
so we're not doxing him or anything.
They're saying it details how he joined the Conservative Party before the general election in order to vote in any leadership contest, and they have some questions. What, if any, due diligence was done on Mr. North's application to join the Conservative Party? Listen, they're hemorrhaging members. They need as many people as they can get, so I'm sure they don't really care. Is the Conservative Party so desperate for money that you allowed Mr. North to become a member despite his repeated racist comments? Will Mr. North's vote for Robert Jenrick be disallowed? So this is tone policing, bullying, cry bullying from a Labour Party chair over to the opposition. Basically, he's trying to say, listen, here's, like in the first segment, here's our acceptable conversation. He's here. We may be here and you're here, but he's here. So Get him out. Get him out.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Conservative Party said we are the party of Indians and we're proud of it at this point.
I mean, they basically have at this point, haven't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, they posted an official Diwali message, didn't they?
Yeah. This was also complained about by a spokesperson for the Muslim Council, saying, I can't believe that racists and Islamophobes are part of the Conservative Party. And then Northern Variant...
Wait a minute, if you go back...
Oh, yeah.
Gregory Davis is Bo's best mate. He's the person that wrote the article about Bo, isn't he? For Hope Not Hate.
Yes, he is. There's a lot of collusion going on between all of these people who exist in a big club that we're not part of. Northern Variant had a big response to it, saying that I can't believe that Gregory Davis thought that this was the best research that he can find. I've said much worse than the stuff that he referred to.
I did think it was quite tepid, really.
Yeah, it was. He says it's tone policing, which is absolutely correct. He says she stripped the quotes of any context. The first quote, Indians took control of the Conservative Party. That's just true. And it also mentioned how he had attended the Homeland Party conference, which the letter said he was a speaker at. He corrects it, says, I was invited as a panel guest, not as a speaker, not a member. The entire debate is on YouTube, in which my disagreements with the party are discussed and debated. I have no affiliation with the party. I intended as an independent political analyst. And regarding to sexually incontinent low IQ Muslims, he basically stands by that statement. Which, of course, I can't say any more on.
Well, I mean, government data seems to support some aspects of that.
Yeah, he says, I postulated that the riots this summer are in part a consequence of the state dumping immigration cheats in working-class communities at their expense, putting women and girls in danger. That's absolutely true. Statement is accurate, widely understood, and not disputed by most people. Again, I can't say much more on that. But if we go to the other bigger news regarding the Labour Party interference in the American election, that was all shared originally on October 17th by another mutual of mine, Max Tempers. That's his online handle. I assume that is an anonymous title. He put out new, and we've already reported this, hundreds of Labour Party staff are going to the US to campaign in battleground states for Kamala Harris, funded by the Labour Party. This was originally on a LinkedIn post from Sophia Patel, the head of operations at the Labour Party, saying, I have nearly 100 Labour Party staff, current and former, going to the US in the next few weeks, heading to North Carolina, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. I have 10 spots available for anybody available to head into the battleground state of North Carolina. We will sort your housing for you.
I wonder why North Carolina was the one that they couldn't fill. Is it anything to do with a recent hurricane devastating it?
That might have been a bit of a problem there. This got picked up by the news, this got picked up by us, this got picked up by a lot of people, to the point where Trump, again, like with the Springfield, Ohio story, heard about it, and his campaign filed a complaint over blatant foreign interference by Labour Party in the US election. They sent it over to, I think, the Federal Electoral Commission. The complaint claimed that there had been interference in the form of apparent illegal foreign national contributions made by the Labour Party of the UK, which had been accepted by Kamala Harris's campaign. It also mentions a Telegraph report that suggested that Morgan McSweeney, Sir Keir Starmer's chief of staff, and Matthew Doyle, his director of communications, attended a convention in Chicago and met with Ms. Harris's campaign team. Now, this was reported on yesterday by Connor, so for more information on that, check out the segment we did then. There's no evidence that Labour Party had made any financial contributions to the Democrat campaign, something that's prohibited under US law. So Sky News trying to play cover for it, but that wasn't the claim that was made. It's that they are shipping over people to campaign on behalf of Kamala Harris. Donald Trump and his campaign have a problem with that, so it's up to the Federal Electoral Commission to decide if that is a big problem.
There are, of course, limits on how they can campaign, isn't there?
Yes, and to be fair, this has had the intended effect, because Labour Party staff, according to Politics UK, are cancelling their trips to the US to campaign for Kamala Harris after this complaint was put on.
We could have got shot of 100 Labour Party members if you just kept your mouth shut. You know, we could have had some peace and quiet for a little while.
Yeah, we could have, but Donald Trump, you know, I think he did.
I think they would have helped Donald Trump, because they turn up with their red rosette, an English accent, to, you know, someone in North Carolina's door saying, have you thought about voting for Kamala? And they're like, shut up, redcoat.
Yeah, maybe, to be fair, maybe it would have been like getting the Labour Party conference video, the supercut that we did occasionally, right on your doorstep, in your face, the dysgenics, right in your face, and you go, no, thank you. Who are you voting for? Who do you want me to vote for? Kamala? No, I'll do the opposite then. Trump it is. Thank you for confirming. But the funny thing is, this story, I just wanted to highlight some funny things about this story, which is that it was picked up by everybody. And now everybody is taking credit for it when it originally came from Max. So it was originally... Liz Truss picked it up, and he posted saying, hey, can I have credit for this? No? Any credit? Politics UK...
The funny thing is, you can always tell because of the number of the engagement at the bottom, right? And how many hours ago. You can sort of match it up to your screenshot if they've just copy and pasted it, right?
You can do. Marjorie Taylor Greene picked it up. Elon Musk picked it up after the grand villain Ian Miles Chung decided to post it without any credit, of course.
Not his real name, by the way.
Yeah.
Based in Malaysia. Doesn't live in the West.
It's really good that this story got out there. It's really good that this story got out there. But damn it, I want people to be credited for the hard work that they do. Even if even if the work is just going onto LinkedIn and finding this, if he hadn't done that, none of you would have known about this.
Well, the only reason Ian Miles Chong exists is because he parasitizes the labour of others.
That is very true. Politics UK picked it up and spread it. Politics UK were the ones who were referenced in the picture, in the complaint that they put into the Federal Electoral Commission. Screenshot from Politics UK. It was from Max. This is an outrage. It was from Max. I can't believe it. And still, Max says, bit much. Glad to see my screenshot maintain resolution through so many intermediaries. I'm on your side, Max. I know who it was, and I want to let the people know this story is thanks to you.
We do our best to credit the creators of news.
Yes, yes, we do. Rest in peace, some say, because again, Ian Miles Chong, being the leech that he is, leeched it away without giving any credit. He even said, if not for Elon Musk and X, no one would know this was happening. No, if it wasn't for Max finding the story in the first place, no one would know this is happening. It's great that so many big accounts picked it up and ran with it, because otherwise Trump wouldn't have heard of it. But still, credit where credit is due. And so I've seen it suggested, here's the solution for next time, which is just stick a watermark all over it. Anytime you post anything...
You just have Albert Camus... glancing in from the background there.
Staring at you, judging you, saying, do you really want to steal this content? Do you want to steal this tweet without crediting it?
You wouldn't steal a tweet.
No, I don't think you would you? So there's the story. That's just what I wanted to go over there. Give credit where credit is due, and where credit is due, if this story hadn't gone across, then you wouldn't have had the very, very desirable result of America not being invaded by Labour Party staff members. You're welcome.
Went from the podcast to the Lotus Eaters, and if you want to see what else we're up to, you could always follow Dan's series, Brokenomics. This time he's talking about The Wire, presumably the economics of it. And if you want to see all the other things we're putting out, you can always follow us on Twitter. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.